Just said K. Welcome into the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Use code DNVR when you sign up for a new account to get amazing odds boosts every single day. Got a pick of the week, or should I say a pick of the year?
Is it your nose?
It's not my nose.
All right.
But it could be if you wanted it to be, I guess.
What does that even mean? Are you flirting with me right now? What's happening?
It means whatever you want it to mean, baby.
I swear to God, this is the most awkward flirting I've ever been a part of.
Go over to
and I've been a part of all the flirting that I initiated in my life.
Bet on TCU to win the championship.
Sick.
That's my pick of the week. Georgia and Ohio State ain't shit.
Word.
That's what I'm going with. You can do it all with DraftKings. When you go over there, sign up for a new account now. Bet $5 on any NHL team to win their next game. When they do, you get $150 in free bets. So jump on that. Must be 21 or older. Colorado only. Other terms, restrictions, and conditions apply. See the show notes down below for details. And, of course, if you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-522-4700. Avs lose to the Toronto Maple Leafs 6-2 in a game that, honestly, even when it was close, this was never really a competitive hockey game. Let's be real. The Avs played like garbage, and it looked like they played like garbage. So, yeah.
And it ended up with the score like they played like garbage.
Accurate. Not really, honestly, a ton to say about this game. If I'm being real with you, the Avs played terrible, and we'll break it down. But these were two teams on two very different levels for the most of the night.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking. I think this is one of those two things are true games.
Definitely.
Toronto was really good, and the Avs handed that to them.
Yeah.
Both things.
Did not make this a difficult game for the Maple Leafs to win at all. Not even a little.
I have some concerns about
Oh, my God.
about coaching as well. At-home games,
Let's just
the
start
matchups.
there. Let's start there. It's fine.
Yeah. I don't understand why you're putting out your third D pairing against the Leafs' top scoring lines. Like, at no point should they be on the ice when you have those changes. At no point.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. It certainly didn't work. Englund got not have a good game, put it that way.
Well, and
But why is he even out there?
sometimes that's a thing that can happen.
Sure.
But multiple times in a row means you're playing into this.
Yes.
You've chosen this.
Yes.
Why?
Well, and especially, right, like, this is an at-home game. Like, you get to choose who's out there. This isn't because, like, if you were in Toronto, that's what they'd be trying to do. Let's get these matchups right now.
Yep.
And the Avs bench was just like, here you go. Have fun.
We'll give you the matchups that you guys want
Yeah.
on the road.
Yeah.
Feast away, big fellows. Nom 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 nom.
I mean, it just felt like everybody was asleep, even the people on the bench.
Yeah. There was a lot of sleepiness. I've harped on this a lot, I feel like, in my videos. AJ, you brought it up during the watch along. At what point are the slow starts a problem?
Yeah, now.
Yeah.
So what?
After a couple of games, you're like, look, teams go through ebbs and flows, but you are talking about weeks now of slow starts, putting them behind the 8 ball.
Well, and if it's a slow start and you come back and win games, a bunch of times, it's an issue.
Which they've done.
Yeah, but it's an issue. But when you start losing games and you're never back in it, it's an issue.
The thing is, I think this game is a perfect example of it. You can get away with slow starts against Montreal, whoever.
Yeah, even a team like the Islanders.
Sure.
They were down 2-0 to Nashville.
Yep.
Halfway through that game.
But you get
these average, mediocre, below average teams.
Yeah.
You can get away with it.
Where the injuries, where the Avs injuries issues are right now, the Avs are that caliber of a team.
Yep.
A little below average overall, but with a couple of superstar players that can do some special things.
But you get up against these high caliber teams, however you feel about Toronto, talent-wise, they're certainly extremely high caliber.
I don't know how anybody argues Toronto's not a top 6 team in the NHL right now.
I agree with you, but it's Toronto, so people will bend themselves into hoops saying they're bad.
Yeah, and their postseason failures are irrelevant in this moment. Right
Yeah.
now, they're a very good hockey team.
Well, and this is a team that came in last
Right.
December too, and crushed the Avs.
And you're looking at what the Avs are currently, and you're saying, they might have a chance against this team if they bring their A game.
Yeah, and with the current lineup,
Yeah, right,
if
correct.
Alexander Georgiev is great, then yeah.
But B game, C game, what they brought tonight, never a chance.
I mean, right
Never.
from the beginning, that Mitch Marner goal, like, he is, like, again, England got beat.
Your Minnesota came out there.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. But just the read and where he was at, he was covering the outside of the net more than he was covering the inside of the net on that play.
Yeah,
It's a bad angle shot that should never go in.
everything about that play was like, oh, Andreas Englund steps up on nobody and just watches a guy skate by him. And then Georgiev, which, again, this is another pattern we're seeing, is overcommitting to that glove side and getting beat on the blocker.
Nope.
It's been 3 or 4 goals now in the last 3 games.
This week,
Yeah. So,
where you're looking at the same goal and you're like,
gotta fix
you
it.
know the goalie coach is talking to you about this. Like, there's a 0% chance that UC Parkville is not like, hey, man, you can't do that.
At this point in time, like, get beat short side.
Yeah. Do
It'll be all right with getting beat short side right now as long as you're, like, somewhere in the middle of the net-ish.
well, and it's not even like maybe his blocker's weak and okay, whatever. But you go back and look at these shots, and it's not like these are posting in on the blocker
No,
side. He's leaving this much space of the net.
They're catching
Yeah.
nothing but net.
Right.
It's not even coming close to the post
Yeah.
and being like, well, he rang that off the inside. We're a quarter inch to the left, and that thing pops straight out. And it's not even close, man.
Yeah. It's just
Not even
rough.
close. He's not playing well.
Yep.
Unfortunately, nobody really in front of him played well tonight either. So, and it's not just the usual suspects. It's not Andreas Englund just having a bad night.
If Georgiev is tired now, they have a huge problem on their hands. A huge problem because his workload just hasn't been that significant. Again, the 3-day break that they just had is the same number of days off if they would have just skipped a start.
Yep.
It's exactly the same.
Yep.
Well, in the first period, was it 2 goals on 9 shots?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it was not a lot.
not a lot there.
And
It's not good.
it's just tough. You look at this first period. Would you say anyone not named JT Confer played well in that period? I mean,
Oh, yeah, JT Comfort, like, does he play well or does he just get the goal?
he
He
had,
makes one play.
he had
and
multiple
scores.
other good plays, I think, and to the point where he probably should have had a goal earlier in the period, but didn't play well enough. But you're talking about a guy who was at least involved in offense in a period where the Avs had a dearth of it heavily.
All right, I won't argue this tonight. It just doesn't matter enough.
That's
now.
definitely
It just
true.
doesn't matter
It's
enough.
definitely
Like,
true.
Whatever.
And let's talk about this too, because I struggle with this. You see the Avs just play terribly for the first 35 minutes of the game,
Yeah.
and then you see the knob get turned up a little bit. How
Yeah,
much
they-
of that
they
is
draw
just
that
do that
penalty.
from the start, and how much of that is Toronto's backing off the gas?
Yes.
Right.
both.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
It's 100% both because Toronto takes the foot off the gas, but then the Avs also start just playing with energy.
Yep.
You know, and when the Avs use their legs, when they play with energy, when they play with determination, when they play with purpose, the Avs are the Avs. Like, we see it. Even when they were overmatched talent-wise,
Yep.
we were watching their bottom 6 just outwork teams, just outskate teams. That's how they're built. That's what their identity is. They are a team that has to play with intent. And when they get lackadaisical and they're not moving around and they're not playing with energy, they look like they did tonight. They look like they did 2 nights ago against LA, although I think the game against LA, because of how it ended, has gotten like heavily skewed on how the Avs actually played. Because the Avs were good 5v5 against the Kings. It was everything else that was a problem. And then tonight they just weren't good.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. Like, when you're playing a more talented team, which right now Toronto Maple Leafs are,
Undoubtedly.
It's not close.
You have to take away time and space, and that means you have to hustle. You can't be the Avs of just like, we're gonna out talent you here.
Yeah.
We're gonna out grind you
And
here.
that is the frustrating part for me of the first 2 periods of this game. Andreas Englund gets beat. Okay, yeah, the dude's probably an AHLer playing against.
Ben Myers takes a penalty that it's not a good penalty.
Yeah, look who's taking what we're talking about.
And you're fine with that, but you look at the rest of those periods and you're watching every single Av just get beat in puck battles, just not engaged physically, just not doing the things that need to get done.
Nathan McKinnon comes back and Mikko Rantanen completely disappears.
Ghosts, yeah.
Completely disappears from the first game.
Yep.
Like you don't all of that backpacking and all the determination and all the heart and grit and all that effort that he'd been throwing out there every night. He was like, "Oh, Nate's back. We're good."
They've got to split him up.
I mean, at this point, I don't think they can, because they absolutely need to maximize what that line can do for them.
They just need Mikko to be
But
Mikko.
if Mikko is but if Mikko is deferring too much to Mac,
and if you put him on a different line, does he have a different mentality, or have you now just taken away your best advantage?
Yeah,
because that's where I see theoretically where you're coming from.
Yeah,
but it's also like the feather in their cap. Every game they walk into with those guys together, their top line is better than the other top line.
Is that a game time decision type thing? You get 2 shifts in and you're like, Mikko's fucking off tonight.
That's 100% a read the room, and you're like, okay, we need Mikko to get back to being the Moose that we saw for the last month. Go out and then put him on a different line. Put him with Evan Rodriguez, and have Lehkonen continue to be McKinnon's adult, and then figure out the rest around them, right?
Yep.
Like, split it up however the hell you want, man. Like, put it together whatever way you're after. But, and if it works, you roll with it. And if it doesn't, then you have to go back to it.
Yeah.
You have to go back to stacking it.
Yeah.
Because I'm fine with that, man. Because, there have also been games where those guys come out of the gates, like, first shift of the game, and those guys run down and they 3 scoring chances, and you're like, oh boy.
Not breaking them up on that night.
It's going to be one of those nights. So, all this talk of them missing the playoffs, they're not even halfway through the season. Stop.
So the first half of that, if they do not change, there's still 5-6 dudes on IR that are going to change them significantly when they come back. Like, they will change, full stop. Anyway, we are brought to you by Breckenridge Brewery, the official beer of DNVR. If you're local, come on down to the DNVR bar. We got $3 beers, wells, and wine starting in 8 minutes up through New Year's. So cheap party time down at the DNVR bar for New Year's tonight. Come on down, get yourself some
before we get out of here, I'm grabbing one.
we're grabbing something.
We're going to grab a drink, and then we're going to toss it back, and then we're going to go party.
It's the way it goes. We are also brought to you by the amazing people over at whatever this ad that's loading on my phone right now is.
It's all the amazing folks over at one of our favorite sponsors that we 100% know the name of, and it is
FOCO.
FOCO is actually super awesome.
Go over to FOCO.com.
I mean, I would have said that regardless.
All your sports merch that you want.
They do rule.
They have bobbleheads, which I'm just not a bobblehead guy.
Same.
But I'm really into all their niche, like the Crocs and the blankets and all of the other weird stuff that has sports merch on it. So that's what I'm here for. You can get it at FOCO.com, whether you want the bobbleheads, other merch. They've got the Avs covered, of course, all your Colorado sports, and even all the sports around the country and the majors ones. So be sure to go check them out. FOCO.com. The DNVR code gets you free shipping as well. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
This is really good.
You do that every show.
Not every show. It's been a while. It just feels abnormally good. It's good and coarse on my hands. It feels good.
All right.
I like it.
This game felt coarse on my eyeballs.
Well played. Well played.
Not quite as good feeling. This is a weird game because I think maybe the most frustrating comments I saw from chat and Twitter was it felt like the Avs were in it. They get a good break on the second goal of the game where Taves just throws it out in the middle and it goes off Austin Mathews and in.
And that really matches good break for good break because
right.
Toronto had a gift of a goal when John Tavares loses control of the puck.
And it just floats
and it
perfectly.
lands on Michael Bunting's stick and he just shoots it into an empty net.
Yep.
That's not on Georgiev.
It's not on anybody,
It's not on a PK, man. They just got lucky.
I mean, that probably doesn't happen if you don't take the penalty in the first place.
Right,
but
you're in a bad position to get unlucky because of problems before then.
Yeah.
In the same way, Toronto was in a bad position trying to defend
because of a turnover
with
deep
three
in their
guys
own
in
zone.
front of their
Yeah.
own net, battling and throwing pucks around and doing all
Yeah.
that. Like, yeah, but at the end of the day, each team just gets a very fortunate goal.
It's true.
I mean, well, and taking that penalty 5 seconds into the second period does not feel good at all.
The frustration was, and I was glad that Altitude showed it, that the same thing was happening on the other side and wasn't getting called.
Yeah.
Yep.
Frustrating. Yep.
It's frustrating. Well, and especially with Nathan McKinnon.
Right.
And you're like, okay, like there's always a little bit of star treatment that happens.
Yeah.
But also, that guy is in the middle of the ice at the center of an arena with 18,000
Couldn't
people
be
in
more
it.
obvious.
You have 40,000 fucking eyeballs looking at one thing. How do you not call that?
Don't know what to tell you on that one.
It's mind-boggling, honestly.
It's a footnote in this game because of how bad the Avs
and, like,
played. But
again, just like with the Kings, like
Yeah.
this is not the refs cost the Avs the game. This is not a bad breaks beat them. No,
But
the Avs beat themselves, and Toronto was good enough that they just took the free shit that Colorado gave them.
Yep.
You look at goals 4 and 5 because at 3-2, your game is at 3-2.
Yep.
You have played terribly,
There's no
like terribly, and you're sitting at
in a
3-2.
1-goal game, and then you just give it away.
And Dennis Mulligan in one shift has a shot blocked, goes and gets it,
Turns it over
to William Nylander and Austin Matthews with
just
no help.
Doesn't play defense on
With
the
no help,
2-on-1.
and then Austin Matthews just gets to shoot into an empty net.
Yep.
What in the world?
And
is
again,
that?
in a world where the Avs are healthier, that's the type of play that dude's going to the AHL. Like,
Well, and
That was a panic mode.
yeah,
pass
the
at, like,
whole
boards.
thing. The whole
Like,
thing.
it's
you're
bad.
talking about a waivers guy that was traded for a waivers guy
Yeah.
in a game where your like rookie call up, whatever you want to call Ben Myers, and your 10th defenseman on your depth chart in Andreas Englund have
bad nights. And-
made game-changing mistakes for you.
But the thing is, what you're asking of those guys is to just not lose the game.
Well,
for
and
you.
you're saying you can't make this mistake.
Yeah.
All right, it's one thing, and Morgan has a crucial role in the second goal even getting scored.
he helps create the
He
turnover,
helps
makes
create
the play
the
initially.
whole play that
yeah.
turns into the second goal. Now it's lucky, but again, in a position to be lucky because Morgan makes
and then completely
He makes good hockey.
wastes it away.
and then he makes bad hockey and gives it away.
Hey, don't screw this up, but go ahead and play against their line one.
And it's just there are already too many things working against Colorado to where if you get plays like that out of Mulligan, out of England, it
Yeah.
wouldn't have even mattered if they played well tonight. Like,
And it is a crucial thing that you bring up that they're just asking him, just don't lose us again.
yeah.
Like we think that our stars can get us across the finish line, and in a 3-2 game where those plays don't happen, and then the fifth goal is just Georgiev.
I don't know.
literally
I don't
just
even know
watching a
what
puck
that
go
is.
in.
Yeah.
It's so fucking bad from Georgiev that whatever.
He looked so disinterested in this
Yep.
game after that fourth goal. Did you see, like, one of the moves is like when a goalie is given up,
Yeah.
where they just come across. They don't go down into the butterfly or anything. They just kind of skate across. If they
Yeah.
would have shot it on net, it was sometime in the second period. I can't remember. You could just tell like he was not interested in this game after the third or fourth goal.
Yep.
You can't have that.
It was bad.
And honestly, if it's an overwork, if it's a tired problem, you're in deep trouble.
Yeah.
Because that's your starter for the rest of the
I don't
season.
know how it can be an overwork problem unless he was just wildly out of shape to start the year.
Yeah, he's never had this kind of workload, but that was the world they chose to live in when they made this decision.
Yeah.
And they managed it early. Like Frankie played a decent number of those games.
Yep. And I'm sure they'll manage it fine once Frankie gets back too. But you can't say a guy who just had 3 days off can't go 3 games every other day. Like, I just don't believe
that's
that.
a starter's workload.
Right. I just don't
You play
believe
3 games,
that
you
tired
sit
was a
game.
factor here.
That's where they
Yeah.
were. He had played the week before. He got 3 days off, and then he's playing 3 games again.
Anyway, It's not.
It's also and like it just can't be an overworked issue. It can't be.
I don't see how it could be, but either way, you need better.
Yeah, and with Frankie, like he's got a lower body injury.
Yep.
No idea what that timeline is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of just where the Avs are at right now, and you know, if the Avs lose but they play better, are you maybe a little bit more positive about it? Sure. But I genuinely just don't know, especially this is McKinnon's first game back.
Yeah.
You're letting him in, get his, and he wasn't even bad tonight, but he wasn't
McKinnon.
He wasn't
and
Superman. Yeah.
You're talking about a guy misses a week.
Right.
Guy misses a week. It's not a big
McKinnon's
deal.
been out a month almost.
Yeah, you miss 4 or 5 weeks. It is going to take you a game or two to kind of slide back into the rhythm.
Yep.
Get the timing back. Guys talk about it all the time. It's just it takes a couple of games to get the timing back.
Yeah.
To get back into that rhythm. And he was I thought really dangerous at times on offense tonight. And you saw how teams defend him. They don't defend him like it's taken a game or two for him to get back. They defend him like he's in God mode.
Yeah.
And it created all kinds of space around them. And he just didn't, Mikko kind of ghosted tonight.
Yeah. You didn't get enough from anybody, if you're being honest about the game as a whole.
Yeah. I think you get a 2-point night out of JT Compher. Like, he's like the one guy you're looking around like,
Yeah.
Can't ask for more from him.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. That's about it, really. It's tough every other way around. Which do we have king of the game? Yeah. Did you do the thing or did you do the other thing?
Which thing did you do?
Okay.
All right.
Do you have anything to show us?
Yeah, and like as Chad is mentioning, they're missing 5 guys.
Right.
That's
5
important.
guys, including at minimum 2 top 6 forwards and a top 4 defenseman.
Yeah.
As like the least generous reading of that.
Yep. So anyway, king of the game. We have to do this.
Yep.
And this was the kind of game where we were like, we're giving it to Jonas Johansson.
Did not get scored on.
with the shutout.
Shutout.
Jonas Johansson
Let's
responds
go.
to the brutally bad performance against the Maple Leafs last year by shutting them out with 6 saves.
Very low.
Very low, yeah. King of the game is not Confer because Confer gets king of the game semi-regularly anyway.
Do we have these other pictures? Yeah, because the human beings in this chat need to pick me up.
Here's the first one.
It's pupper season, chat, all right?
All right, that's Rex.
You need some good-looking dogs in your life to be a little happy, all
Look
right?
at that cute face, man.
That's my dog. We just got a print of that put up on our wall for Christmas. That was our Christmas present to ourselves.
That's what?
Yep. There's Sadie.
Yep.
Rocking
In the
a
Troy
Terry jersey. Yep.
Yeah, look at that. Shout out Sadie.
Colorado kid, too.
Sadie's not a kid anymore. Sadie's old enough to drive.
He is a Thunderbird.
That's Kirby.
And there's Kirby. Why didn't you send a picture of his crazy eyes? I wanted to see his crazy
Because
eyes.
I get tired of hearing about it. People are always like, that dog's seen some shit. Yeah, man, he walks in on us in the bathroom all the time. He's literally seen some shit.
I didn't send in any pictures of my dogs. I got 2 of them.
You want to send them? I can show you.
Yeah,
Nope.
I feel like he would say that and send pictures of his kids then.
Here's all the animals in my house. It's just a family photo.
One of them's here. The craziest of them.
Look, it just wasn't a good game. To the point where there just isn't a ton to break down. You're not going into the Dennis Mulligan play and being like, oh, if you did this, that, or just don't pass it directly to the other team.
Yeah,
That's just a skill thing.
you give that to 2 of their 3 best players, and you just let them go to work on Eric Johnson and Alexander Georgiev with the entire zone to themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like giving fireworks to a toddler and just letting them go. You think it's gonna end well for you? No.
On that note,
Unbelievable.
make sure you get yourself some athletic greens. That's my hangover cure for the morning. after whatever happens
Oh,
tonight.
Yeah, you got some clumpy green shit ready to rock.
Oh, yeah, let's go. 1 scoop in your cup of water every morning to get you go. It'll help boost your immune system. 75 different vitamins and minerals, a bunch of probiotics and adaptogens in it as well. You got to get in on it. It's great for you. A bunch of athletes use it as part of their workout routines. Maybe the Avs should have used some of it before tonight's game to get themselves going because they were napping. athleticgreens.com/avalanche to order today. You got a ways to go till midnight here, bud. You can't
Yeah.
be doing that. Take control of your health.
Happened before.
When you order on athleticgreens.com/avalanche today, you get a year's supply of vitamin D along with your order. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Looks like we got 2 super chats to get real quick. $10 from Vaguely Sober with his usual DNVR and emojis. Also saying Happy New Year's DNVR crew. Here's to a ridiculous 2023. Much love, Vaguely Sober. And the immortal Drew with another $50. Avs played like crap tonight, but overall, I wouldn't trade 2022 for anything. You guys and everyone else at DNVR has been awesome, so here's to a better start in 2023. That's what I want to do with this third period. Yeah, this game sucked, but
Yep.
It was a bummer.
Avs kind of won a thing this year.
Yeah.
They did the thing.
Times has been good.
Have you guys spent much time looking back on any of that?
Not
I
yet.
did yesterday just because of the tweet, but
Yeah. I ended up in the rabbit hole too, where I was like watching our reaction videos.
yeah.
I was like telling Z, I was like, oh, here's where I was standing at the start of this video. Here's where, like, because the helm reaction goal
Yeah.
is the one that kills
Because you
me.
were downstairs.
Because I was
yeah.
downstairs, and you could see like it like starts, and like Michael Harrison's wearing his Cody McLeod Stadium Series
Yeah,
jersey,
yeah.
and I'm standing right next to him. You can't see me. Like I am. It's like perfectly framed. You can't see me. And then he scores the goal, and then whoever's filming it like walks through the bar, and by the time they turn around,
You're gone.
you can see that the barn door is slid open, and I've already gone up the stairs. And it was so funny to me because I was down there and I was like hugging people and was all excited, like high fiving.
Expertly dodged the camera.
And like I have no idea this is going on,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Like, and it just worked out perfectly. And it was just funny to me to watch that and like the emotions of that moment. And you're like, here comes overtime. Like
Yeah.
this is gonna be crazy, and then you're not.
Yep, and then it was over. Late one, $25 from Paper Dolls here says, hi all, I
What's up,
can't
Kay?
stick around, but I want to say happy early New Year, close enough. Thanks for all the good stuff for both wins and losses. As someone in Ontario, you provide a community to share all this with while being far from Colorado. Highly recommend you all get out to Colorado if you can at some point, but hey, we're out here for everybody. You don't have to be from Colorado to
Shout
be
out
part
Colorado.
of DNVR. It's why we do stuff like the watch alongs. It's why we got
Definitely.
all this content for you.
That's why we are always online.
We're building a community for everybody who cares about the Avalanche.
Yep.
That's the whole idea.
Unless you want to trade Sam Girard, we might have to consider trading you guys to another fan base. How does it feel? I'm just kidding.
Zing!
Just kidding. Maybe.
And look, it's the end of the year, and I really have nothing but positive things to say about Colorado as a hockey team.
Yeah, and like this year's team has been frustrating because you don't feel like you've gotten to really watch the Avalanche do their thing at all. They've never been healthy. The issues have been that bad
Well,
that it's not even like at the start of the year when they were missing like Landeskog and Helm, you're like, yeah, okay. Like you have to be able to overcome that.
Yeah.
so I don't know if this is exactly right, but it's certainly close. I believe the Avs finished December 6-7-2.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure,
but
but
awfully,
that's a 500
awfully
point
close to
percentage.
500 for a team that spent most of the month without Nathan McKinnon,
Yeah.
all of the month without Gabe Landeskog, parts of the month without Val Nichushkin, parts
Yeah.
of the month without Evan Rodriguez, parts of the month without Bowen Byram and Josh Manson.
The entire month without those guys.
You're right for the defenseman the entire month.
Yeah.
It's really not that bad.
Yeah, like is this the standard that we expect from the Colorado Avalanche? No.
Yeah.
The answer is no. But also, like
It's not the Colorado Avalanche.
This is a pretty compromised version. And
Yeah.
again, like if this is the team that they had built, This was
Our
as good as it
expectations
gets.
would have been way different if this was
You're
the team they built.
absolutely
Yeah.
not believing that they are an easy in for the postseason, but knowing that they are. Look, even if none of the other guys return except Landeskog,
They're way better.
you put back McKinnon, you put back Landeskog, they're not missing the postseason.
Agree.
100%.
I don't know what position they finish in, but just those two guys, they're not missing the postseason.
All right. Any final thoughts?
I want just quick, I want your guys' okay, not obviously winning the Stanley Cup. Because
Okay.
come on. That's a lifelong memory that we will all, share.
Obviously.
But anything about 2022 that really stands out as, great memories for you guys? Sentimental bunch, I see.
I mean, yeah. There's a lot of awesome stuff happened to me this year.
Yeah, I mean, we could keep it at least work-related.
Yeah, I mean, everything is dope. What do you want me to say?
Everything is awesome.
Every day I wake up and I work the coolest job in the world. I go to the bar, I hang out, watch hockey. I talk to people who also love hockey.
Yeah.
It
is almost easy to take for granted that we spend time around people who are as passionate about a thing that we are overly passionate about.
Yep.
And you forget that because we know so many Avs fans who live and die with the team.
Yeah, and
I think it was awesome, the Cup run, not just the Stanley Cup, but that
Yeah.
whole run, everyone coming in, the vibes at the bar, packed out every game.
And the hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was it was so much of this is it.
Yeah.
It's our time.
Yeah.
This is our time. This is our team. We're too good. And yet, in it, you still had so many people who were just there's this, there's this, there's this, there's this, there's this, there's this.
yeah, it's
They went 16-4, man.
Yeah.
You put the entire thing together, and it's incredible, really.
Yeah.
there's no part of it that's bad. Even the Avs losses. It's at the end of the day, you're here
the only loss
vibing with people.
that still makes me sick to my stomach is Game 5 to St. Louis.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's the only, because it was just such a one-man army. Nathan McKinnon
Yeah.
absolutely fucking pops off.
Wouldn't take no for an answer.
Just was I'm this is happening.
Willing
We're
this
getting
team
out
to
of
the
this.
win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not dealing with another Game 7 heartbreak, and then they lose it, and the way they lose it is just a Tyler Bozak nothing shot
Yeah.
that beats you. And crazy bounces that Robert Thomas ends up with goals that he doesn't deserve, shit that you just all of the well, that's hockey, all happens to you so quickly, and that's the only one. But then you look at the wins where Game 4 against Edmonton, you go into the third period trailing by 2.
Yep.
You get down, you give up another one, and Frankie's bad.
Yep.
And you're just holy shit, man. And then that team,
Just rises. Yeah.
you remember, it didn't last long, but
Yep.
that team took the lead in the third period of that
Yep.
game.
Yep.
And that was I think when the way they won that game was when it was I was already they're winning the cup, but it
Yeah.
was for the first time all postseason, the Avs should lose this game.
Yeah.
They should lose this game. And they were just
Nah.
nope. Not doing it.
It's yeah.
I don't know. The cup run was and spending it with you guys, and
of course.
and there were so many people here.
Yeah.
Every game it was people were giving us hugs and telling us how much it meant to them. And I think when I look back on it, obviously, given what we've gone through together, building it, and the company, and with the Avs, and it, that was special for us in a way that people will never really understand.
I've always been proud of what we built, and I love all of this, and I
Yeah.
love that we're continuing to build it. But having those visceral reactions, having that many people come up to me in person,
Yeah.
was damn.
Well, and you realize yes, we care about this a lot, and it matters to us a lot. It's why we're here, because we went and did something with it, right?
Yeah.
But like, there are people that are coming down here just like, I'm here from the Czech Republic. You know, we had it's like shout out Jack
Yeah, from New Zealand.
New
from
Zealand.
New Zealand.
And stays.
Lives in Denver
Hung out
for a month.
Yeah.
To watch a hockey team in a playoff run, like an all-time great story, and unbelievable that it worked out for him the way that it did. Like,
DJ Son came out for the final couple cup games too.
well, and I mean, you're talking like just the way that the fan base just like lifted itself,
Willed
up,
itself
and
together. Yeah.
That's the stuff that I really remember, where how special it all was, and it was not so long ago, and that's why a game like tonight has me just
doesn't
not
sting
pressed.
so much. Yeah.
It's just I'm not proud. Look, if they miss the postseason this year, it's a bitter failure, regardless of
and
whatever circumstances. It's a bitter failure. But at
that's not
the same
this
time,
moment's problem. Yeah.
well, at the same time, it doesn't erase anything that happens, and it doesn't take away anything that has happened.
True.
It doesn't erase the ultimate climbing of that mountaintop,
Yep.
which is what we got in 2022, which ends in a few hours. So let's go celebrate.
All right.
Word.
Blais, you good?
Good.
All right. We're outie. We love you all. We will be back on Monday with the game. We're off tomorrow.
Monday?
Obviously, I think. Oh, maybe we might. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think we're. I think everybody has Monday off.
Yeah, I don't know when we'll be back, but we'll be back next week for sure.
Yeah, I don't actually know. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
You know where
We'll
to
be back.
find us. Like and subscribe. We love you. Be safe. Have a great new year. We appreciate y'all, and we will talk to you when we see you.